You connected with your Wi-Fi?
Oh man.
No, we don't know it. Why can't I connect to it?
What happened?
Why can't I connect to it? So we're on the internet, the state internet, right?
I'm plugged in.
Well, me too.
Yeah, you should be able to get it. Who is the first half? Huh? Let me see. The first part is professionalism and okay now. Yeah, customer service and virtual speaking. Okay. Let me mute.
Work with Lisa, with your managers day in and day out, and to really be the face of LDOE to so many of our families out there across the state. And so I want to thank you all for that, for being that face, for being that voice, for being there for our families. This is such important work. I know that you all know that. And when I think about this team specifically, I think about how the work of this team really resonates as so mission oriented. Not to say the work of other teams is not, but this team especially, in that you all get to engage with families day in and day out. So I thank you for all that you do. And thinking back on the last, getting close to a year, as Lisa was saying, when I came on in June, I remember meeting Lisa and meeting with Lisa, and she gave me a list. I remember she had this list of what the early childhood team, the operations and the strategy team, what things you all had done to support families, to support centers since March, since that March 13th day. And this was only June. And I remember looking at that list and saying, my God, these people have done so much in such a short amount of time. And I remember just being so impressed with what you all had pulled together so quickly. And to look at that list now even and think about what has been done for families and for centers, it's really overwhelming and it's super impressive. And when I think about what this team has done, especially in processing applications and working with families, the LCAP grants, that is impressive. I'll say even at a national level, when you look at the amount of money that we have been able to get out to centers as quickly as you all have, is just so impressive. It has been a lifeline to families and a lifeline to centers during a global pandemic, during one of the worst world crises we have ever experienced and hopefully will ever experience in our lifetime. And so I just wanted to take a moment before I even dove into a few slides that I wanted to share with you all today and talk with you all about, just to acknowledge that in not even a year's time, I know probably for most of us, for all of us, it feels like it's been even more than a year. I think it's aged us all in different ways, but I was talking with another one of our teams the other day, and I was just inviting them. It's been a year, almost a year, of so many challenges, and so many changes. I'll say so many changes at the department, in our state, in our communities, in our families, in our world. And with change comes challenge. And I was just inviting them, and I'll invite you all today just to lean into that challenge, because I really I really believe so strongly that when we lean into challenge, amazing things happen. I think the work of this team in not even a year's time is a result of you all leaning into that challenge of change, and seeing what comes out of that is just amazing. So thank you all. I wanted to, just before we even dove in, to acknowledge that. So just a few slides to talk with you all about today. I know that y'all saw some of the priorities plan yesterday. Hopefully you were on with Scoop with the soup, and if you weren't, we'll dig in a little more today. But just wanted to think about what critical goal, our priorities, and the work of this team in particular. So when I think about the CCAP team, man, this goal, this is it. Dr. Brumley yesterday on Scoop with the Soup, and in our priorities plan, we have some clearly outlined goals there. We know what we need to improve for kids in this state. And when I think about this team, it's goal number one right here. How are students entering kindergarten? When we think about those 5-year-olds on their first day of school, are they ready? Are they prepared? Kindergarten expectations, we know, are really high. They're higher than when I was in kindergarten, higher than probably when most of us were in kindergarten. But how are our kids prepared? And when I think about this CCAP team, I think about in particular, how are those children who are most at risk? How are our kids who need the extra supports the most being supported prior to that kindergarten year? And so looking at this data and seeing that our 4-year-olds are served really well in the state. 92% of our economically disadvantaged 4-year-olds have access to publicly funded early childhood programs. We see from infants to 3 such a gap, and that's where our work is. So to tell y'all, that is our focus day in and day out. You guys are doing such an amazing job with the money that we have. And when I think about the work of myself, the work of Dr. Brumley, the work of Lisa, we are fighting every day for that gap that we see here on this left-hand side. We need more funding so that more children can be in quality seats. And so I think in general, we've done an amazing job with quality over the last few years, and we have to keep that push there so that more kids than ever in our state have access to that quality care. And then we'll see that number on the right, that 40% that are entering kindergarten ready, we'll see it rise. We need more kids ready for kindergarten. And so I also wanted to bring back today our belief statements. And these are just our core beliefs as an agency, as a department. And these should just be in our being. When I think about these belief statements, this is how we act. This is what we want. This is what we strive for. And I look at these and I think all of these belief statements relate so beautifully to the work of the CCAP team. Children are our highest priority. Families, you guys are the only team in the agency that directly deal with families day in and day out, not just some days, not just once a month, but day in and day out. So families are our partners. Y'all are living that mission. Y'all are living that belief statement every day in what you do, that families are truly our partners in this work in serving children. Educators are valued professionals. Graduates must be ready. What are they ready for? They're ready for whatever they choose to come after. We want our children to dream big, and we want them to be prepared to reach those dreams and those goals. We want to give them every opportunity in order to do whatever they want to do. Equity matters. How are we reaching children, assisting families that need our help the most, that need those supports the most? Not just the kids that it comes easy for, but all of our kids across the state. Choice expands opportunities. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful belief statement for the early childhood ops team in general, is what kind of choices are we giving families? Not just the center that's just so, but how are we giving them choice and opportunity to the best centers they can access? Schools are invaluable to communities. They are the building blocks and the foundation of every community. They have to be strong. And we believe that our future is bright, that what comes next is going to be good. It's going to be really good because we believe all of these things, and we're going to work every day to achieve it. And so these are our priorities. And these, again, are just what are we all getting behind and ready to do together? How are we going to make sure that every student is on track for what comes beyond? How are we going to remove those barriers? How are we going to make sure that people have access to quality care for those B to 3-year-olds that we know we see that gap in that earlier data? How are we providing the highest quality teaching from birth through graduation? How are we making sure that our workforce is supported? This is so important, especially in early childhood spaces. And this is something that I'm getting even more passionate about each day when I think about our early childhood workforce. And I think about, in order to have that high quality teaching and learning, the workforce has to be behind it. It has to be recruited, retained, trained, developed, appreciated, and valued. And then in all of this, how do we cultivate high impact systems, structures, and partnerships? Because we can't do this work alone. That earlier belief statement, families are our partners, they are. The communities are our partners. So how are we valuing that, and elevating it? So I was so inspired when I saw the theme for your conference, for the CCAP conference. And when I think about these priorities and I think about our goal, y'all, it is lofty. There is a lot there to be done. These are lofty things with a lot behind it. And so when I saw the theme of the CCAP conference, I was so inspired, because in order to get all of these things done in that priority plan, we have got to be our best selves. I think about that saying, that's something like, before you can put on your child's oxygen mask in the airplane, you need to put on your own. And so the agenda for this conference is just so inspiring. When I look at things like the self-care, the professionalism, how are we all being our best selves in what we do in order to achieve these lofty goals and priorities that we have set for ourselves as a department and as an agency? So I love the theme, focusing on excellence, refocus, refresh, and revitalize. And when I saw those words, I was like, man, these are such powerful words. We need to dig into what these words actually mean. So I did a little defining here for us to really focus in. If we're focusing in on excellence, let's think about what these words actually mean and let them resonate with us in their definitions, because they're really powerful words. January is a great time to do this. I think this is the perfect time to do this conference and to have this theme. So when I think about refocus, how are we adjusting the focus of, and I love the second definition built in here, how are we focusing on something new and different? How are we opening to opportunities to change, to the challenge of change, and how are we refocusing on that? How are we refreshing new life, right? I know we're all looking forward to spring. If y'all are like me, you don't like winter too much, and January is just a tough month to get through with this kind of weather. But we are so ready to be refreshed with new life and vitality. And revitalize. How are we in our work going to give new strength and energy? How are we going to wake up every day wanting to be our best selves? And that's what I really commend you all for today, to come into this conference with an open mind and open heart and wanting to be revitalized, refreshed, and refocused, because we have to be our best selves day in and day out in order to give to this work and have the outcomes that we want for kids. So I found this quote, I came across it, and it really spoke to me when I thought about this CCAP team especially. And this is by Agassi. He's an Olympic gold medalist tennis player. And even though he was a tennis player, an Olympic gold medalist tennis player, this was his quote, not about tennis, not about the accolades. Remember this, hold on to this. This is the only perfection there is, the perfection of helping others. This is the only thing we can do that has any lasting meaning. This is why we're here. And when I think about the CCAP team, I think about our work even here across the department. It is work that can be thankless. It is work that can be underappreciated. It is work that can be draining and can be very hard to do day in and day out. But I want you all to hear from me that I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do every day perfection is found in helping others. And the more that we can be good to ourselves and build ourselves so that we can be our best selves in order to help and serve others, you all have this incredible opportunity day in and day out. And so I welcome you to lean in to that challenge and to really just have that open mind and open heart over your CCAP conference and learn you have an awesome jam-packed agenda to really walk out of this space refocused, revitalized, and refreshed. And so I thank Melinda and Lisa. I thank Karen and the rest of your team that has put this amazing conference together. Y'all have an awesome, awesome lineup and a lot of great learning and development to do.
Thank you so much, Jenna. As always, you are really great and inspiring. I want to, before I turn it back to Karen, I just have this little story to tell, and I tell it on a national level whenever I speak to people, and it demonstrates everything Jenna just spoke about. During the middle of the pandemic, one of our staff members, and she knows who she is, had lost a parent in New Orleans. I came to work, I got on the line that Monday, and she was there. Her parent died that Friday. And I said, what are you doing? You have to take some time. And she said to me, Miss Melinda, one of the essential workers that I certified, maybe the nurse or the doctor that took care of my dad in the end of his life. I have to be at work. That's who we are. During the pandemic, I heard it over and over and over. Staff who were pushing harder than they could ever push. We delivered food to people's doorstep because somebody in their family was infected, but they wouldn't get off. And the thing about what we do is it's so easy to look on a dashboard and see they're moving cases and you know they're dealing with so much. And that's what Jenna and Lisa just said about you guys. That is the pride that I take in every single one of you. I mean, from the analysts to the admins, we work together to the call center to push it out. No matter what we go through, we understand that there's a family in Louisiana who has it worse than us. And so we push. So guys, thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Lisa. You guys can stay on, pop in as you want to. You are about to see some of the greatest presenters. I need a drum roll for these guys. They're that awesome. Karen, I'm turning it back over to you.
Okay, before we go on to our next wonderful speaker, Veronica, who's looking really nice today. Jackie, we're gonna pull for a door prize. So Jackie, can you pull a number? Everybody get your ticket out of your blue bag because you just may be a winner. You're already a winner, but you may be a winner of the door prize.
And the door prizes are real nice. I saw them.
764-235.
Okay, 764-235. Winner needs to be present.
Virtually present.
Virtually present, yeah. Does anybody have that ticket? Check
That's
your
me.
bags. Roy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations, Roy.
Congratulations, Roy. And your door prize will be on your desk, okay?
Thank you.
All righty, so next up, we're
I
gonna,
noticed Ron just say 1 or 2 words, guys. You don't have to worry about Ron giving a speech. That's me, thank you.
Okay, next up, we will have Veronica Buckley, and she will do a presentation on virtually speaking. Veronica.
Good morning, CCAP. I am just so thrilled to see some faces after that wonderful greeting and introduction from Karen, Dr. Shazon. Just greet all of you, and I'm happy to see you. You gonna put up my PowerPoint? We're gonna wait a minute till she gets my PowerPoint up. Okay. Okay. So the focus today, the title of the presentation is Virtually Speaking. Everyone knows that since the onset of the pandemic, as Lisa and everyone explained, we were just pushed into this virtual world. And so now that we hear, what's more important is what people see. So as I go through this brief presentation, I want you to think about what it is that you're presenting virtually. What is it that the other person on the other side of the camera is perceiving about you? Especially when we're dealing with our stakeholders externally and even internally. Sometimes it's good to unmute that video on that Zoom meeting so that people can see your face. It sends a message. When you first meet someone, you get what? An impression, right? You get an impression. It's the same way virtually. It's the same way virtually. So we need to think about that when we're going through this Zoom presentation. You can go to the first one, Karen. Are you Zoom ready? What makes you Zoom ready? And I'm going to get your assistance with a few things. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, excellent, excellent. The first thing is use the video option when possible. Show your face. I know sometimes we don't like to, we don't want to, but especially the host. If you're the host, and even if you're speaking, it's good to see your face because it sends a message. Your face tells a story. So they want to know that you're genuine, that you're sincere, that this is a true business connection. So when we talk, it's just like looking to the eyes of someone when you're speaking. It sends a message. So we always want to make sure on Zoom meetings that we send the right message. I want to make y'all laugh. Generally, and this is about you, Melinda, and I'm pretty sure my other peers may have experienced this. Oh, but my God, it was about the last early Head Start meeting. It came to me that morning, but I had started working. I said, I know she doesn't want us to be visible. Usually she tells us, right? She would say, show your face, I need you to unmute. Unmute and open your video. So that morning, we got on the call after another one. We had, video calls after another. So we got on this one with Early Head Start. She's talking, and then the first thing she says is, I want you to show, and then we're actually in the meeting. Show your face. I need you to unmute your video or open your video so we can see who you are. I'm like, oh my God. Veronica was sitting there in her gown. She had a robe on. I was working diligently, had my coffee when she said that. So I turned it up. I could hear her introducing. I could hear my peers introducing themselves. Veronica made a beeline for that closet. I got a blouse that wasn't wrinkled. I did a little bit, put on a little, and I came back just in time. I was out of breath, but I was ready. So you know what that taught me? I'm not going to wait for her to tell me. If I know there's going to be an external meeting with stakeholders outside of CCAP, Veronica's going to be ready. But she had me out of breath. I was so tickled that day. Dress for the job you have. While you're on virtual calls, even internally, especially internally, dress for the position you already have. T-shirts are okay sometimes, but especially again for an external meeting, you want to look your best. When you first interviewed for the position you have, you didn't go in a T-shirt. You didn't go in a white beater shirt. You were clean, you were shaven, you were presentable, you were fresh. Even in my research for this, it said even if you decide to do that at home, get dressed, whether you have a meeting or not, you're fresh for even working at home. And it gives you a different perspective, does something for you internally. So when you're on these video calls, the Zoom meetings, especially when you're required to show yourself, let's be fresh. Let's comb your hair. Tamika gave me a comment. Y'all can't tell me nothing this morning now. Tamika commented me, I'm ready. Then Krista sent me something about my hair. It's all over. Anyway, but still you want to be refreshed and you want that to show, especially when it's an outward meeting, but even inward. You want one when it's your internal, when you're with your peers internally. Look your professional best. Doesn't matter that you're at home. Don't be slumped down like I really don't want to be. It's a scientific fact in my study that nobody likes meetings. Nobody likes meetings. But you don't want to be slumped down. Presentation is everything. You know, you don't want your hair looking crazy, or you looking crazy and wrinkled. It's still a professional environment, even though you're in your home, okay? Stage your video area. Stage it. Make sure, and I do, you see, don't wear pajamas. Stage your video area. Make sure you don't have a pile of clothes when you're working at home. The children are not allowed. If there are other adults, listen, I'm about to be on this video call, prepare them. Okay, and then in staging, I read that for the lighting, it's best if the lighting is behind the camera. I don't know if y'all can tell, but since I'm in the office, the lighting is at the top, so it's a reflection. It says it doesn't always show your best self from behind, so that's something I couldn't avoid. But still, and I'm kind of glad that happened like that. So think about putting your lighting in front of, behind the camera, or to the right of the camera, or even better yet, use natural lighting. Natural lighting is better. I find myself positioning my workstation close to the window or to the patio doors, you know. Yes, because I like that natural light. Try to look into the camera. I purposely repositioned it because it was saying if you look into the camera, that's like eye contact. It's almost like you're looking directly at the people that you are speaking with. Okay, stay on mute if you're not talking. Everybody can attest to that. Also, a couple of weeks back, if that long, Danielle was sending me a text. Mute your video. Mute. You're not on mute. Ronnie sent me these laughing emojis. He's not right, but he sent me these laughing emojis. Laugh, Buckley. We can hear you. We can hear you. But I was on mute. Whoever was hosting had me unmuted. But it's okay. So stay on mute if you're not talking. That's to avoid distractions, but it was a good laugh for the morning. So also, and I was kind of surprised at this, but I can understand, don't eat during the meeting. You know, sometimes people eat gross. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes that becomes your focus rather than what the person is saying. I want you, before we go to the next screen, look at the bottom. Look at the gentleman. When it says stage your video area, you're also talking about the position of your camera, of your camera lens. So look at the gentleman on the left, and it's the same gentleman on the right. Can y'all see the difference? Can anybody either unmute and tell me what it is you see in the difference in the two? Come on, everybody, jump in that
His
one.
camera is too close in the first video, and he has better lighting, and he's further back from the camera in the second.
And it makes a huge difference. And then, even depending on our bottom parts, I'm not trying to be graphic, but we need to think about all that. And it was all, and thank you, Danielle. It's excellent if you can view yourself before you join the meeting and position your camera to make sure you're presented in the best light. Okay? Look at my man to the right. What do y'all think about him? What do y'all think about that?
He's on vacation.
He's on vacation, yeah.
But if he's in the meeting, look at how he's dressed. What do you think?
T-shirt and sunglasses are definitely not appropriate.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Don't do other private things while on meeting. Yes, Danielle, yes. I have experienced, I've heard water running, I've heard the toilet flushing. And sometimes y'all know these phones are the fickle. You can have attending Zoom on your phone, they're fickle. They will flip. They will do what they want to. They're not dependable. I've heard water running. You see the lady says, oh no, I see bats in the cave. The other lady is picking her nose, will pick our ears. All of this is considered improper etiquette when you're on a Zoom meeting. So make sure you've taken care, and make sure if you want to be on mute, make sure it's on mute, extra sure, okay? And then you want to stay focused. You have to use a lot of active listening in Zoom meetings. They even spoke about the size of your meetings if you can. Only invite people who need to be there in connection with staying focused. Use your active listening skills so that if Misty shares something and it's relative, or I can add to or give my input, then I'm listening. Oh my God, somebody sent me something funny. But anyway, but I'm listening so I can contribute and be a part of what it is we're trying to accomplish collectively. Okay, so stay focused and only invite people you need to be there. Let's say you want to invite me, you know I need the information. I don't necessarily have to give input. Okay, so what do? We do just what Karen is doing right now, record it. Share it with Veronica. That way Veronica can share it with her team, whoever, Robin, whoever, share it with your team, Romney, whoever, you can share it with your team, but they need this information. But the people who are actually going to be there within the Zoom session, participating, who needs to give input, they can be there, it can be recorded, and you can share it with the other coworkers later. The host should be the last one to leave. Who can tell me why you think this is important or why this is relevant?
There might be questions.
There may be questions, exactly. There may anybody else want to share before I move on?
Accountability.
Accountability, okay.
Those leadership skills.
One more time about the leadership.
It's good leadership skills, showing, you know, your team, if you can do it, they can do it. You know, you got to be a good leader, be a good example.
Exactly. Anybody else before we go on? You want to ensure all pertinent points have been covered, and you don't want to cut anybody off. Sometimes you have laggers that want to ask questions later. They'll wait because everybody's not as forthcoming. You know, we have a lot of introverts. Then you always want to check your chat box, and you want to make sure everyone understands next steps following the meeting. Okay, learn what you can do to manage participants. This is a biggie. Besides muting and raising their hand, and sometimes you have to stop video conferencing for some and just really dismiss them from a meeting depending on what's going on. So learn all of the functions of the Zoom and you can have a great meeting. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one is interactive. I need you guys to look at it. Let me know from the backgrounds with these four, do you think it's appropriate or inappropriate based on what we just shared? And let us know which picture you're referring to. Think about setting the stage, think about your dress, think about the lighting. So what do you think? Can we have about 3 people to share, please?
The one on the bottom right, it might be problematic because there's a window behind them and you can't control what goes behind the window.
And I would be focused wondering, what is that back there? And that's what it's about. What are they doing? Where is he? Thank you, Andrew. That sounded like Andrew. Okay, anyone else, please?
Yes, the one at the top right, the young lady at the top right, she has a very good setting back on a backdrop, and the lighting is very nice. She has a bright smile and, just welcoming everybody in and, posing good to captivate her audience attention.
Excellent, excellent. I did make a comment. They did share in my review of this about your shelves and having minimal. I don't know how many of you watch Channel 9 News, but I noticed Greg Merriweather always has that one little lamp. He may have one little plant. There's a shelf, but it's very bland. It was saying a wall is best. You can have shelves, but not too busy, because then you'll be distracted and saying, what's on that shelf? Or why they have so many books on that shelf? I can't believe they're in this meeting looking like this. For real, I've done that before. We're just gonna be real, Okay, anybody else want to share?
Someone's cell phone showing in the picture?
Which one, Jackie?
On the bottom right, I see a cell phone. Could you see their messages? You don't see that in the picture?
Oh, you know what? That was just a part of it. I couldn't get that off. I want to focus on
Well,
I
they
see
would,
what
they
you're
wouldn't want to
saying.
show their cell phone.
Yeah,
Good
I could
observation, though, Jackie. Good
Yes,
observation.
yes. Thank
have
you.
that.
Yes. I wanted to use this particular picture, but I couldn't get that off. You would. That's that detailed Jackie. Anybody else, please? Can we get one more?
I think the gentleman in the top left corner,
Yes.
think that picture was well represented. He dressed well and he looks very engaged with his gestures. So
Yeah.
I particularly like that one on the top left.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
I would agree
Christina.
with that because I think he stays his area well. He don't have a bunch of anything on his wall, and you can really focus on what he's trying to do.
Right.
What he's trying to, point he's trying to get over.
Yes,
In Louisiana,
excellent.
we talk with our hands and you can see his hands.
Yes. Go to the
He's
next
very
one, Kim.
involved. He's very involved and very focused on what he's trying to say and what he's trying to you know, he's serious about what he's talking about. His look gives that, you know, pay attention to me. I'm speaking. He presents himself as, you know, he just has that, you know, that look like he's, you got to pay attention. You have to pay attention to what he's saying because it looks like it's important.
Like he's the host. He looks like the host.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
All
right.
right. All right. All right. So Danielle, Sharon, Miss Melinda, they look like the host. They look like they're in control. And I have to make y'all laugh. Go to the next one, Karen, please. This is another one I need your input on. No, go the other way. Danielle tickles me, Lord, when she's ready and she's clean and she know, what is it? I don't know what y'all call it now. Y'all have a term. Oh, she says, I'm ready. I was looking nice. Y'all know before John White was, you know who John White was to her. Those of you know who know Danielle. So the other day, Tamika and I were talking and she heard us say John White and she came out and she was so professionally dressed. And she was saying, I'm ready. I heard, quote unquote, her husband's name. So being ready and being prepared is important, especially in the Zoom session. Because that
Call it
impression.
staying on your toes. We staying on your toes.
Staying on your toes. She tickled me because I didn't even know she was hearing us. She walked over. I thought she was coming over to tell us, lower your voice a little bit. She said, no, I heard John White's name.
Always ready to give an elevator speech when it comes to him.
So look at this one. What's appropriate, inappropriate? Come on, we got some good ones on here. Come on, y'all. Don't hold back.
This is Jolanda, the one that's on the last one on the left at the top. He looks like he might be in a bathroom or something.
Oh, with the white t-shirt and the white cap?
The white t-shirt and he look like he in the bathroom to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, possibly.
I think the girl in the middle is about, I think she's probably like the only professional one on here.
Okay, why is that? It sounds like Erica. Is that Erica?
Yes, ma'am, it's Erica. First of all, her background, she has a nice little world map on the wall, and then she has on a collared button-down shirt and her professional office chair, and everybody else is just chilling on the Zoom call, looks like.
Okay, we respect your opinion. Okay. Anybody else, please?
I was going to say the guy at the top in the middle, he has a lighting issue, and there's a lot going on behind him, a lot of clutter.
That's right, Norman. Excellent observation. Thank you. Anybody else?
Well, I'll say the one on the bottom left looked like he just rolled out of bed because his head's not combed and that shirt is kind of thrown on. Like he reached into his closet and pulled it out. I said, oh,
Okay.
I remember.
All right. And one more observation and we're going to move on. I'm mindful of my time.
I see the guy in the middle with the black shirt look like he has on headphones, and a lady at the bottom looked like she had on a headset or something.
Okay, and some time for your work. Well, that's excellent for distractions. That's excellent for distractions. So thank you for sharing that. Because sometimes even when and you can go to the next, unless somebody else wanted to share, but sometimes when we are within a Zoom meeting, if our screen is black and if our video is not on, what are we doing? Let's be honest. What are we doing, y'all? We're working on videos. We're addressing them tickets. What are we doing? We're sending text messages to the staff, and we're not really focused on what the presenter or the participant is sharing at the time, and that deters us. So any Zoom sessions, even conference calls, we're supposed to stay focused and use active listening. This is just how to set up a virtual background if you don't know how. I see when I checked it, you have to, if you go to your stop video and hit that little cursor up, it'll show you about adding the virtual background, and you can upload your own background if you like. Okay, can you go to the next one, Karen? Conference call etiquette. This is what we do every morning, 9:30, provider help desk. The other teams do it as well. What's that in the middle that's most important? It's the host. The host, can you see it? I see it done yesterday. But the host guides the meeting. And it's only about 5 things we're going to cover here. They had so much more, but the host guides the meeting on the phone. You prepare for the call. If there are any agendas you need to share with everyone, you pass those out. Send them by email. Even if you're not going to share the agenda, I always write down notes about what it is I'm going to share. I may have been on a call with my managers. I may have gotten an email that my staff need to be aware of. I may know of an event. I may need to do reminders, provide help desk protocol. I'm pretty sure you managers do the same thing. So make sure you're prepared for the call. And also equally important is while you're conducting the call, always give your participants a chance to share, especially if you're brainstorming, and whether you're brainstorming or not, they may have issues that arose overnight or while they were working with providers or any stakeholders that they need to bring to the whole team. And that's something I can honestly say I'm proud that the provider help desk does, and our managers. Our managers do that as well. They include us. Actively listen again. Plan for no office interruptions. Oftentimes when you're on a conference call, sometimes people will not knock. They will just open the door. Eric said, I have that bad. Eric said that's the sign of a supervisor. Anyway, he said, yes, Melinda and Danielle do the same thing. That's the sign. Y'all know Eric has that dry humor I just love. So he said, oh, it's Miss Buckley. So, but you let your office staff know, you let the people in the office know, listen, I'm about to be on a conference call, or you can put a note on the door, no interruptions. Again, close your laptop, because if it's open, if it's a conference call, nobody can see you, you're going to work. You're going to work. Okay, and end the meeting always with next steps. Next steps for everyone involved. Okay, next, and this is the final one. Email etiquette. First impressions. I had to touch on this because while we are virtually still dealing with our stakeholders, R&Rs, like I said before, internal and external participants with LDOE, CCAP, licensing, internal emails that we may send. External is so important that we represent the department. We represent the department, and we never want to give misinformation. And one thing I think is so important is no matter how good or how well you think you are with writing, you always want to step back. You want to reread it, make sure it says what was asked of you or what was stated. Don't give too much information. Don't imply. If you have to really question it, don't put it in there. First one says using that standard font. You always want to use a professional greeting. Since I know Karen, I might type Karen an email. I might say, hey, Karen, put H-E-Y. But if this is a new business partner, stakeholder outside of CCAP, it's going to be dear sir, or dear Miss Fletcher, or dear Karen. All depends on how she saluted me when she sent me the email. I'm going to reciprocate the same way. the same way and stay professional. Be cautious with reply all. Man, I cannot stand if I send an email to 5 people, or if someone sent an email to 5 people, but you only really need that one. You need to include us, make us aware, but then you only need that one to respond, but all the emails back and forth, you get them, and you're inundated with a lot of emails. So just be careful with it and be mindful of that. Make sure the people who need to get the email after you've made everybody else aware in the first one, send it to them only. Capitalize the first word of every sentence as well as proper nouns. Avoid using all caps. Correct grammar is so important. Punctuation is so important because we're the Department of Education. It's so important. So proofread, get your peers. I call the staff, whoever, and I believe I can write, but I say, read this. How does it sound? Is it too much? You think I need to tweak it, especially if it's going to somebody I'm dealing with for the first time. Proofread, keep your tone professional. You know, emails have a tone. They have a tone. And sometimes your flesh, it may be good sometimes to get it out. I've done it. I'm just being honest. I get it out. What she mean? She don't say what we doing over here. For real. And I get it out. Then I sit back and I look and I reread it again.
Was that to me, Ms. Buckley?
May have been, ma'am. May have been. May have been.
Probably the both of us.
Look, they don't have a clue. Oh my God. We got octopus hands. We need another octopus. So, but anyway, always keep in mind who it is you're representing, and then think about yourself, your own professional image. It represents you. You know, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Stephen Covey said, if you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Always think from another person's perspective. So don't always
go. I want to add something to what you said. Never write when you're upset. Never write when you're upset.
Exactly.
Never.
So go back and tweak it. Thank you, Ms. Lacote. Go back and tweak it and look at, I've done it. Then I come back. I've even sat on a whole email for a day. Sat on it for a day or two. Then I go back and isn't that sad, but it's true. Keep your tone professional. Perfect your email signature. Oh God, I've seen some of everything in the signature block. You want your name, you want your position, you want a phone number. You can even put an email link. You can put the address. That's it. Keep it professional. Keep it professional. And then think before forwarding, which is something I always do and I always impress upon the staff. So I hope this has been helpful to you all. It's just a few pointers. There's so much more that could have gone into it, but I'm gonna leave you with this question. Think about the impression you want to leave when you're virtually speaking. What is the impression that you want to leave when you're virtually speaking? Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ms. Buckley.
Okay, thank you, Veronica. And before we go on to the next presentation by our call center staff, Jackie will pull another number, so check your bag for your ticket. Misty, can you see your PowerPoint? Probably not.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you see it, okay.
764241. Seven 64241.
Well, pull another number. Ooh, it's a back.
Seven 64260. 764260. Okay, here we go. 764268. 764268. Gosh, where is everybody? 764-268. Seven 64233.
Those are probably the bags I didn't give out.
I'm just gonna unmute and say I want.
Okay, La
Somebody said
Portia.
that to me.
Yeah,
La Portia.
Okay.
Okay, call center, y'all on.
Good morning, everyone. You can put it in the chat or you can unmute.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for your response.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Ms. Karen, are you gonna put it on the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, you can go out, move it along, as you say.
Okay, great. Misty?
So our agenda today is we're going to have a little icebreaker video about call center employees, what they would say if they could be honest. I have a couple of videos of bad customer service, some customer service tips. We have a way to make a win-win situation at all times. And then Chloe and I are going to go into the difference in the call center team and the call center's research team, because there's actually 2 teams under that umbrella, and then a way to improve customer service. So here's our little video. I hope everyone gets a good kick out of this.
Can you see the video?
Yeah, but I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Oh, I hear it. Hold up.
Yeah, I can't hear it. Sorry. I can see it, but can't hear it.
You can hear it, but it's really, really low.
Did somebody say something?
Yeah, it's really low. You can barely hear. I can't hear it.
Okay, let me. Can you hear it now?
It's really low.
Barely.
It's
Barely,
still
but it's better. Yeah, just turn it back, turn it up maybe a little more.
Were you able to hear it?
It was really low.
Okay, I'm good. Oh, wait. It's really loud on my speaker, so let me try it again. You still can't?
You want me to see if I can pull it up on my phone for the audio?
Yeah, try pulling it up.
Yeah. Eric, are you on?
We need you to bust in the door now, Eric.
Any day now.
Yes, I know how long you've been
Can you hear
holding,
that?
and I don't care.
Yes.
Let's start it from Misty, if you don't mind.
I guess we just won't have the video part. I'll try to just do the video, the sound. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes, I know how long you've been holding, and I don't care. Why, yes, I'd love to spend the next 10 minutes of my life being told what a horrible person I am by a stranger.
I'll definitely transfer you to my supervisor, who will give you the same information I just gave you.
As soon as you started yelling, I zoned out.
I'm not sorry I placed you on hold for 5 minutes. I was hoping you'd hang up. Oh, you're never going to use our company again? Great. That means I'll never have to talk to you again.
I'm going to tell you the issue is resolved so that I can go on break.
I'm telling you that I'm finishing up with another customer, but really I'm just catching up on office gossip. I asked you to repeat repeat that because I was too busy texting on my phone. I'm gonna hang up on you and pretend it was an accident.
I'm attempting to sound empathetic because quality assurance is listening.
The only perk of my job is not seeing your face. Please stop telling me this pointless story. Just tell me your problem so we can both get on with our day.
I'm saying this with confidence, but I have no idea if this information is true.
I fully intend to look you up on Facebook after this just to see how much of an asshole you are. I'm not sorry you feel that way.
I'm not sorry that happened.
Oh no, I understand. I just don't care. This job has made me dead inside.
This job has given me a fear of talking on the phone.
Listen, babe, call me hun one more time and I'll burn this place down. Have a great day.
Excellent, excellent.
So we're all awake now and laughing, hopefully, but
Yeah.
That was awesome, Missy. You want me to do the next video? I think I figured it out, by the way.
yeah, these will be our examples of, I think the first one's bad customer service, like face-to-face, and the second one's like a bad customer service phone call.
Can y'all hear it?
No, ma'am.
You haven't
Oh,
clicked.
wait. Okay, can you hear it now?
No, very
Can
low.
you see it? Can you see it?
I can see it.
Can you hear it? Okay.
You started hearing it when you started going up on your computers. You can take it from 71 to maybe 100.
Can you hear it?
You need the support?
Yeah.
Encourage
Yeah.
you to
Yes, now we can hear it. Thank you.
because the better we all communicate.
Enjoy your flight, Matt. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. We're only boarding rows 9 and above right now. You'll have to wait.
I'm in row 8.
Please step aside, sir.
It's just one row, but you think it's okay?
We'll call your room momentarily. Step aside, sir.
I don't hear it anymore.
The volume.
Yeah, we loved it. But we can imagine what she's saying. She's calling row 8 now.
Yeah, now she's calling his ticket to go get on the plane. He looks so thrilled.
Yes.
I love the fact that nobody was actually there but him.
Right,
Right. She had power. She felt powerful. She could make him wait.
We don't have any volume still.
No volume.
Yeah. If not, we can just go ahead and skip on to the next slide.
Right. You guys can explain what was happening in the videos. That way people will know, about the bad call.
Okay, so that second video was actually a vacuum company, and the representative is the female on the phone, and she's totally not paying him any attention. He's telling her that he bought a brand new vacuum. He went home and vacuumed his entire house, and it worked great. But the second time he turned the vacuum on, there's no suction on it anymore. It's not picking up any trash out of the carpet. And so the woman just kind of goes into, you know, have you changed the filter? Have you changed the bag? She's just very blunt and monotoned about the entire thing. And the guy that's having the trouble starts his story over and over and over and over and won't really answer her questions. So they're really both kind of headbutting at each other and not getting anything accomplished. At the end of the call, they both kind of just give up.
Right.
All right, so
one of the things I did, Misty, you made me think of something. I had a problem with T-Mobile a couple of years ago, and I told the person on the call that I would quit my job and focus on making their life miserable. I really said that. I said, I will call you and hold on until you solve this problem. I will truly make your life miserable. And I was so serious. If you ever got a bad call or spoke to somebody and you know you're just trying to get help, it is so frustrating.
yeah, so we're gonna go into our customer service tips. I want you guys to be able to give us some feedback on either the via chat, and you can just kind of give us what are some ways you guys provide great customer service? Like what are some ways, and I'll read them out loud. You can put them in the chat. Actively listening. Having a great attitude. It's from Chloe. Leave personal issues at home. That is a big one. Empathizing, smiling with your voice, definitely. Having a heart to help. Show compassion. And all of those things are good. Going the extra mile, I saw that. Speaking with a positive tone, compassion. Case note the call. Returning calls and following up. Definitely. I saw that from Ms. Buckley. Ms. Buckley, I want to let you know I focus on my Zoom etiquette. So, but yes.
You look quite debonair, sir, I have to tell you.
Thank you.
Quite handsome.
Yes, sir.
So that's all of those things are great. One thing that we want to make sure we do, Ms. Melinda already stated, we have stated all the time in our meetings about smiling through our phones, smiling through our voice. We want to be able to show that we are people. They can't see us, so we want to be able to show that we care, show empathy, all those things that you guys put in the chat through the phone, because like I said, they can't see our faces. So we want to be able to provide them with that. Address the customer by name. So that's one of the main things. We want to be able to have a personal connection with those people, so that way they can feel just as comfortable as we do with them when calling. Maintain a positive attitude. We have to be sure that we are maintaining a positive attitude, because that go through smiling through the phone. People can sense an attitude through a phone. They can sense attitude through your body language. Many ways they can sense attitudes. We want to make sure that we always maintain a positive attitude. I know someone put in the chat about leaving your problems at home. So that's one of the main things that we want to do, is be able to make sure that we are together when we come to work. So that way we can continue to have that positive attitude with our clients. Offer a timely response. I tell people all the time, as far as our staff, to make sure that we try to give them a timely response. If we call AT&T, we want to be able to get our issue taken care of expeditiously. So we want to be able to try to get that information as quickly as possible and provide them with a timely response. Listen, be confident. On Tamila put in there, but definitely have to be confident. Don't sound dry. That's definitely another one. listening to the customer. So we have to be, someone put in the chat about actively listening. So that's another thing. You want to be able to make sure that we're actively listening so we can fully grasp what the client is saying or what the customer is saying. And that way we can provide them with the information that they need as quickly as possible. And that goes back to a timely manner. If we're listening and getting that information, we can be able to provide them with the answer that they need. Apologize for any inconvenience. So you want to make sure that we show empathy and compassion. So apologize for any inconvenience that we may have offered them. I know we hear the term that the customer is always right, although we may not feel that way, but the customer is always right. Show empathy. That was many of you put that in the chat. We want to make sure that we show empathy to our clients, our customers. Just like us, they're human and they have everyday issues. So we want to make sure that we are showing that empathy and compassion towards them. Definitely, the customer is always go the extra mile. So that's one thing that I try to focus on with staff, is to go the extra mile and do something unexpected. That's one of the main things, making sure that we go the extra mile to show them that we care and that we're here for them, to assist them and help them as much as possible. Christy said, ensure the client understands the information you are providing them. Definitely. We want to make sure that we are providing clear information so that way we can assist them as much as possible. If we provide them with the clear information, then we won't have to worry about having that much of a callback response or having that person calling back as often. Ms. Karen, you can go to the next slide. So we want to be able to create a win-win. That's one of the main things. So all parties feel good about the decision and understand the next steps. So the first thing you have to do is realize your reason why. Why are you at this job? What is your reason? Why are you able to want to assist these clients and these customers? So if you don't mind, I just want a few of you just to put your reason why. Why are you able to show that compassion and that empathy? What is your reason why? I'm gonna read a few. I truly enjoy the service to help Louisiana families and children to understand how it feels to need childcare, help families to be able to go to school and work so they can provide a better life for their family. Because let them know they are not alone in this situation and someone cares. He said, because I'm a mom, I want my kids to have quality care too. Definitely. Build bridges, definitely, that's a big one. Ensure, I missed that one. But yeah, all of those things are great. So I can't go through all of them, but all of them are great. So, and I appreciate you guys interacting. That's the main thing. We have to figure out what's our reason. That's the main thing. What's your why? In order to provide excellent customer service, in order to work diligently in your job, you have to have your reason why. You also have to realize, who are your customers? Who are your clients? Who are you working with? I know someone put in the chat about building bridges and being there and understand the need. And ensure children have the opportunity. So that's you have to realize who are you serving and the need of those. That's another thing. And how are we serving them? How are we serving them is a big thing. We have to be able that we're providing, that goes back to the customer service, that we're providing them with the great customer service that they need. So that way when they leave our agency, they can feel good about it. They can feel like they can move on to the next best thing and better themselves. Like you said, you guys have put in the chat, just to give hope and make sure that we are assisting as much as possible. So I put a few tips in the bottom, and it says the first one is to treat the customer with mutual respect. We want to be able to respect one another. So we want to be able to respect them. The next one is to act as a genuine problem solver resource. So to be able to provide their information and be able to, and like somebody stated earlier, provide that correct information. So that way we can assist them as much as possible and point them in the right direction. So that way they can get the resources they need to better their families. The next one is know that great customer service affects the customer's happiness. So you have to make sure that we are providing that great customer service, so that way we can ensure that this client or this customer is satisfied. The next tab is understand that strong team relationships are vital for the overall standard of the customer service. That's a big one. You have to make sure that you have a strong internal relationship in order to be able to service the children and families of Louisiana or the customer. You have to be able to have that relationship with one another, so that way we can assist and be able to help not only each other, but help the families of Louisiana. So if we're one team, we'll be able to help those families that are in need. Anybody have any questions or anything?
No, but I do want to say, Jason, that all of the points that you made were very valid. I want to share just a quick story. We had, it was a long day at work. I didn't have time to cook. I came home and I wanted to just get something quick, so I decided to order a pizza. And as soon as I called the pizza place, they picked it up and put me on hold. No greeting, no nothing, just the music of the background. So I'm like, okay, fine. Picked up the phone. They say, how can I help you? I'm like, all right. Very aggressive, very rude, very short. So I started to go and order my pizza, and immediately she tried to deter me from ordering the pizza. She said, I just want to let you know that it's going to be an hour and a half to a 2-hour wait. That still doesn't change the fact I'm hungry, ma'am. So I said, we're still going to need the pizza. Automatic attitude, very short, very dry. So I said, well, that's fine. The delivery time, that's fine. We'll wait. She said, oh, Lord. Okay, what you want? So I'm like, ma'am, do you want my business? Basically I'm calling you because I have a need and you can produce something that'll help me fulfill my need. And I think that that's something that we need to keep in mind on a daily basis, is that every time you receive a call is a family that needs something from you. And no matter how frustrating your day may be or how aggravating job has made, you have to remember that each interaction is with a new person and they actually need something from you. So just like I needed that pizza because I was hungry and needed to feed JR, these families that are calling in need a service from you so that it can increase and enhance their life. And I think that that's something that we all need to keep in mind. That body language, her sighing, I could tell she didn't want to be bothered, not giving me a formal greeting, just acting like everything was my fault for interrupting her entire life. So I think that all of the things that you have presented thus far definitely speaks to good customer service, no matter if it's ordering a pizza or managing a multi-million-dollar subsidy for Louisiana families.
That's right. Danielle, you said that perfect. But I wanted to share also your wonderful experience with customer service. Danielle had a customer that called. It was late one evening because I had left. In fact, I was driving home, and Danielle called me, and she just couldn't believe what just happened. The grandmother called, and the grandmother's on the phone with Danielle, and she's crying, and she's just broken down, and she's telling her how bad she needs a subsidy and how we messed up. We messed up. We didn't do things right. So Danielle's heart is just so moved, and she's like, "Oh, this old lady, and they need help, and the child has problems." Well, the grandmother thought she hung up from Danielle, and with good customer service, you never hang up until the customer hangs up. So the grandmother thought she'd hung up, and all of a sudden she stops crying and she tells her daughter, "This is how you do it. Now you just do what I told you when you call them back." And Danielle hung up and said, I feel so violated. I feel so hurt, But she maintained her composure. The same lady called me a couple of days later, and I was sharing with her. That's another thing. Good customer service. You know when to escalate up. There's somebody above you that you may need to give this call to. So Danielle knew after researching it, she wasn't trying to punish her. But after researching it, we had done nothing wrong. So she sends the call to me. And the lady starts off with the same crying. And the next day, the lady's crying to me. And so I explained to her, our calls are taped. And one of the things you may want to do is make sure you've hung up. She got really quiet and stopped crying. I didn't have to tell her what we heard. She knew. But the thing is, it wasn't for Danielle to tell her. It was for me to tell her because I knew how to tell her. And so to me, that was an example of excellent customer service. Because Danielle never got in her feelings. She could have easily said, "Look, old lady, don't be trying to play me. I heard you. Don't be calling back over here. We know what you about." No, that's not for you to do.
And that goes back to the relationship with your team and how to handle that call. All right, so Misty, you want to go ahead and explain what the call center team does?
Yes, so the call center, like I said, when we started, it's actually broke up into two different teams. We have the call center team and the research team, but we're all under the same umbrella. So as far as the call center team, we answer all of those CCAP calls, of course, but we also answer general calls. So that's parents looking to sign their children up for homeschool and home study, people looking for public records requests, teachers with certification questions or trying to do add-ons to their certifications, parents and children trying to get duplicate transcripts of their high school diplomas. We do assessment testing, which is like your LEAP and your Iowa testing. We do grant calls, public and non-public school calls, which could either be a teacher upset about something, a parent upset about something. Pretty much anything, when you go to the LouisianaBelieves.com website, anything that would fall under that website, that's the calls that come through our call center. Most of our calls are actually CCAP calls, but we do these other things as well. I thought everyone would kind of get a kick out of that. One thing I did want to point out is, as far as the call center, when it comes to CCAP calls, our favorite thing in the world is case notes. That's how we can assist those callers the most easily, the best way. We don't have to send down, a call request for their caseworker to call them back if the answer is just right there in front of us. So we adore case notes. Details, 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 because our job is to not send it down to the caseworkers or even to just the research team if we can handle it while we have that mom, that dad, that grandparent on the phone. One thing I thought everyone might not know about the call center itself is they don't have access to OnBase, so they can't see any documents that are actually coming through. They do almost all of their work with the Case Notes and Cafe and the CAPS program. So that's us in a nutshell.
You can go on to the next slide, Ms. Karen, sorry. Chloe?
Yes, hello everybody. I'm going to talk about the research team, who we are and what we do. We're also known as the email response team. The research team works as a liaison between the client and caseworker by verifying the documents that the clients have sent. These are for CCAP, the CCAP clients, and or answering questions the client has concerning their case. The team utilizes CAFE case notes made by analysts or ourselves or call center. We use the case notes in general to see when was the client, when the last time she called, what was told to her, things of that nature. We use CAPS, and a lot of times we use OnBase and prior knowledge to respond to the client. Our first priority, the research team, is to assist the call team with the heavy call load. So we do answer all those calls as well from clients for CCAP and also what we call general calls. The call center receives questions from the client. This is how we work. The call center receives questions from the client and refers them to the research team via email. The research team contacts the client to assist them further. This allows the analysts to continue working on their cases without frequent interruptions. For example, in the month of December, the research team received 5,330 emails from the clients, and we only sent over 676 emails to the analysts. So like I say, with the help of OnBase, if a client wants to verify her documents, instead of just sending it straight to the caseworker, we can say, yes, ma'am, I do see what you submitted. Great job for submitting that. However, I do see per your CCAP 14 or per the conversation you had with your caseworker, she's also requesting this, that, and the other. So we can tell them that. So that's one less email we have to send over. Like Missy said, details, because a lot of times the clients say, well, I sent everything. Why was it not, why is my case closed? And if the case note from the caseworker, which is the caseworker's case note trumps all of our case notes. So when the caseworker says, this is why this case is closed, we can say, tell the client that in confidence, know what we're talking about, calm them down, get them to reapply. And that's one less email we have to send to the caseworker. A lot of times, if you see our case notes or our emails, we will say, inform client of this. However, client insists on speaking to caseworker. So sometimes we can't send them over, we can't calm them down, we have to send them over. But as you can see, for the month of December, we did a real great job of breaking that up.
Thanks, Chloe. We wanted to put that information in the call center. We want to put the information in the PowerPoint so that way you guys can also get a grasp of what the call center does, because a majority of the time we are the main ones who are in contact with the clients and parents who contact the Department of Education. So someone said the call center says face of the CCAP, which is true. So that's why we want to put some of that information in our PowerPoint on how ways not only can we improve on our customer service, but how as we as a team collectively can improve on customer service. Each of us have things that we all can work on as far as providing customer service. So these are just some tips that we want to provide to you guys to help improve customer service across the board. So that way we can provide quality service to our parents and to our families that need us, because they need us. That's why they are contacting us. That's why they're reaching out to us. So our job is to be able to provide them with the services that they need at our best. That's all I have. Back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Jason, Misty, and Chloe. Excellent presentation. Okay, before we sign off for this morning's session, we're gonna have another door prize. Before Jackie draw the number, what I want to say to you is you sign off for this session, and then you're gonna sign on at 11 o'clock to the new calendar invite for the next session of the training. Okay, Jackie.
764211. 764211.
Check those names.
Seven 764198.
That's me.
Oh, Latasha, congratulations.
Okay, before, what I'm going to say is the numbers that we called earlier, we're going to put those back in the bag, and they can be drawn in case it's a number, it's in the bag that I haven't distributed yet. So if you haven't received your packet, you can see I'm in 1153.
Karen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but something has happened with your volume.
I hear.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
No question. Great job this morning, you guys.
Yeah, great job. Thank you. And Veronica, I'll be the last person. Sign off. Yeah.
Karen, you still need Eric?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Did Melinda sign off? Okay, I'm waiting for y'all to sign off.